Hold on just 1 second, guys. That's actually worse. I have this really cool lamp thing that I can kind of move the arms around, and that is not working. Okay. Um, so it's cloudy outside today, guys. So I don't have like a lot of light, and like I said, the light in my living room is horrible right now. If I shine those on me, it gets worse. So I know my face is like really dark, but it's cloudy outside, so I don't have like any natural light coming in either because it's cloudy outside. Let me actually just check on. That did not help at all. Okay, I was opening the curtain at the one window. I need to get like one of those circle ring lights to like illuminate my face when I'm doing these. I just don't have the money to get one right now. So today is really bad lighting. Actually, I think this. That's actually worse. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I hate the way that my face is so dark that you guys can't even see me. Much better. I do know my lives like this. The light in front of me. Okay, that's much better. Um, much brighter. I need to start learning how to do this. I don't need a ring light. I know how to do this. Okay. So today is my love story. If you didn't see my broadcast from yesterday, go see that. You can find out how much he actually knew about our life in our earlier years. So I've been with my husband. He We've been married 8 years. It'll be 9 years in September, but we have been together 10 years today. 10 years ago, I started talking to him on Plenty of Fish, and for about 2 days, I didn't know how to pronounce his last name, Funk. I did not know how that was pronounced until my mom helped me. And the pictures that he had on his dating profile were interesting. They were very funny. And my mom's first word to describe him was zany. That's what my mom used to describe him. The word that she used was zany. Um, Unfortunately, my mom is not with us anymore. She died out 2 years ago, which, if you've been with my channel longer than a year, you would know that. My So we talked for about 2 weeks on there, and then he wanted to meet me. And I said, well, if you want to meet me, you have to meet my parents at the same time. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. And so we went out to eat at Country Fair, a restaurant here in Myerstown. It was kind of halfway between my house and his house. And he it was really nerve-wracking for me. I had been on dates before, but I'd always known the guy beforehand and never really been on a blind date. My first boyfriend, I got to know him through going to his church, and my first boyfriend, he came to our 3-hour band to play some music, and then afterwards he just like followed me around like a puppy dog. And then I went to his family's farm for a hayride and some, just fun hot chocolate and stuff. And my second boyfriend I knew when I was a freshman. He was a senior in high school. So, I'd never been on a blind date at all, ever. And with my first boyfriend, we didn't really date. We just saw each other at youth group and at church, and that was about it. Like, he came over like once or twice, but he couldn't drive when I was with him, but whatever. So this is my first blind date, guys. So we had been texting back and forth. We hadn't talked on the phone or anything. I didn't know what he sounded like. And what he looked like, I only knew what he looked like from his pictures. All I knew is that he was a weekend warrior with the Army National Guard. And he worked night shift at a warehouse. I didn't know much about this guy. We get there. He actually hugs me. And we go inside. He has ham. I have a chef salad, whatever. I go to say goodbye to him, and my mom and dad are like, "Why don't you go with him, and we'll you follow us that to our house." And he had a big green, I think it was a Ford Explorer. This thing was huge, guys. Okay, I'm 5'4", and it was dark. I couldn't see the running boards, so I was like trying to climb into this huge car. And my mom was getting all upset because we weren't right behind her. My dad's like, "Carrie knows how to get to the house." We talked for hours, and I finally said at one point, because before we even had our first date, okay, guys, before the first date ever happened, he was asking me, "Am I going to get a second date?" I was like, "Let's just see how the first one goes." So before he left that night, I said, "I might as well tell you now, you're getting a second date because I really like you." So we dated. My dad had his leg surgery, so I had to go to David's house a few times. Meeting his parents was nerve-wracking. It's February by this time, and I am meeting his brother, his oldest brother, Greg. I am meeting his wife. I am meeting his 3 kids. Morgan was not born yet. I was terrified to meet his brother and his wife. I don't know why. I was just like, well, what if they don't like me? And we get there, and the kids are terrified to talk to me. So Emily would not talk to me. Ariana said hello. Aiden kind of was like 1, so he wasn't really talking that much yet. Emily would not talk to me. She would not talk to me, but she wanted to know my name. She wouldn't talk to me, but she wanted to know my name. She kept going to Jason and Daniel and David and her dad and saying, "What's her name?" And they all were like, "Why don't you ask her?" She wouldn't come near me. So finally, the uncles always brought candy for the kids. They still do to this day, at least for Morgan. And so they gave me the bag of candy they had with them to try to get Emily to talk to me. Well, she finally did. And I finally said, "My name is Carrie." And she just fell in love with me. So that was actually Valentine's Day. He brought me home in a snowstorm. It was very it was a very whirlwind relationship. We were together a month and we were standing in my parents' living room. We met the end of January. So this is the end of February. And he says, 6 months from the day we met, I'm going to ask you to marry me. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. March, we get the promise ring. I think it was March. I don't actually remember a lot of sequence of events here. August. 6 months to the day after we met. I know you're thinking, well, should that be July? No, because February doesn't have 31 days. So, we went into March for 1 month. So around 6 to 7 months, should that be June? I don't know. I say 6 months to the day because that's kind of what I remember. So 6, because we had to go partly into March for the 31 days because February only has 28 days and it wasn't a leap year. And so we had to go partially into April. So that's why it's 6. That's why the time to you is not like, well, it should be in June. Well, it turned out to be August, okay? Because we made sure it was 31 days, and February does not have 31 days. So we had to kind of you had to count out 31 days because we met on January 31st. So 6 months to the day, we're engaged. I come over after work. He proposes. I get on the phone with my mom saying, guess what? I'm engaged. His mom overhears my phone call and says, I want to see the ring. Yeah, she just got home from work. It was very fast. Oh, I just had a little bit of a brownout. So we get to, we're at the point of asking his parents. We're not engaged yet. So before the engagement, we actually talked to his parents about getting married in 10 months. Well, we had to postpone the wedding because I was still in college. So then we decided 2016, September 10th, day before David's birthday, same wedding anniversary of my dad's parents and my godparents' wedding anniversary. My unofficial godparents, I'll call them that. I called them my godparents. They're my unofficial godparents. She's just a friend who babysat me a lot growing up, and her husband's amazing. So I just always called them my godparents. There's someone I actually really looked up to growing up. I really looked up to her and her sisters growing up. I kind of always wanted to be like them. They are very inspirational to me. Well, not one of them is not anymore, but used to be. I don't actually see them at all, ever. So, but yeah, so we were going to, yeah. So then this is all in 2015. 2016 comes around. We get married in September. Well, in there somewhere we had a messy breakup and a re-engagement. My engagement party was awesome. My mom did that for me. My bridal shower, I guess you'd call it. The wedding was beautiful. And, 10 years later, we're realizing we've been together for a decade. Somehow saying decade just makes it sound longer than 10 years. I was talking to my grandmother about this past week. I go out to see her about once a week. And I was saying, yeah, we've been together a decade. And Grandma's like, just saying that makes it seem longer. And I was like, yeah, it does. I guess because, they make up these other words, I guess, to make it seem better, but, decade just makes it seem longer to me. And, when I turned 25, my father was like, oh, you're a fourth of a century. I'm like, could you stop? So on my cupcakes I made, I actually spelled out century with some cupcakes and put 1/4, and all the other cupcakes I put 25 or 1/4 on. One person took the 1/4 cupcake and she's like, what does this mean? I said, my dad kept telling me this word down 1/4 of a century. So yeah. Our colors for our wedding were purple and black. He chose black, which actually worked really well with the girls' dresses. And no, the guys did not wear bow ties. They wore actual ties, except for the reindeer. He wore a little bow tie. My nephew, oh my gosh, Aiden was the reindeer at the wedding. It was so cute. We were in the dressing room, and Marion came back to show me the girls in their dresses and to show me Aiden his little outfit. And he was so cute, guys. Oh my gosh, he was adorable. And as he had like purple suspenders on, white shirt, black pants, purple little bow tie. He was so adorable. As he was walking out of the bride's dressing room, I am watching him walk out from behind. I'm like, I went back into the dressing room cracking up laughing. Like, okay, so the room we were in was a big Sunday school room, but they had curtains. So we had all the curtains closed so that if the groom looked in, he couldn't see me. I walked back into the little cubicle where we're getting dressed, and I start laughing my head off. I started laughing because right across the hallway was the kitchen, which is where the guys were getting dressed. I started cracking up laughing. And my matron of honor, my best friend in the world, she's actually still my best friend, said, what are you laughing about? I said, I just watched my little nephew walk out with the suspenders and the black pants and the white shirt. She's like, yeah. I said, he looked like a little Amish kid. Oh my gosh. I had to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is out the hallway and like an L to get to it. And David, my soon-to-be husband, was in the sanctuary. So I had my matron of honor standing guard. Even though it wasn't a communal bathroom, it was the ladies' room. She had to make sure that he was still in the sanctuary so he wouldn't see me. But yeah. And you know how the groom always says, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. Guys, he cried. That was our main focus that day, was to get him to cry, and he cried. There's actually a scene, it's during the Unity Candle. We're waiting for the song to end, and we're standing down there, and I started getting a little teary-eyed. But I didn't cry until the reception. Then I cried a few times, but I was crying, and David saw that I was getting a little teary-eyed, and he starts crying, guys. I mean, he started crying. And my uncle, who was doing part of our wedding ceremony, actually took out his handkerchief. Like my matron honor stuffed some tissues in my hands. Said, "Give these to David." I tried. He said no. So then my uncle got out his handkerchief and gave it to David. And every time I tell him, you cry at our wedding. I tell him that every year. He's like, yeah, I fooled you all. I'm like, no, you didn't. So, yeah. Well, I gotta get up soon and make our special supper. Chicken divine. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. It's supposed to be dreary. And hopefully soon I'll have some news to tell you. I'm not sure if I'm going to have news. I hope I have news to tell you guys next week. I hope so. Probably not the news you guys are thinking of right now. So it's not that. I will tell you that right now. It's not that. Get that out of your head. You're thinking dirty. All right. I love you. God loves you. Remember, God made you and everyone special. Have a great weekend.